I'm going to go over some chemistry stuff, and I found a mistake. So let's go back to here. Okay, so chemistry. Let's look at chemistry, this one. Okay, so here we have, make sure you read through all of these. These are basic things you should know about basic chemistry. And the first one here is it asks you to click right here, the hydrophilic group. So hydrophilic means it has a negative overall, a negative charge. So the hydrophilic group with nitrogen. So you just click right there, and that's the answer. So if you have an amino acid has a carboxyl group and an amine group. This will be randomized, and every time you do the assignment, it will give you different answers to complete. Okay, so if you want to look at an amino acid, so there it is again. There's the amino acid. There's the carboxyl group. This is a carbon. This is a double bonded oxygen. This is another oxygen. So remember, the carboxyl group is COOH. Over here is the amino group. The amino group. Here's the hydrocarbon chain of only carbon. And it usually tells what that is. Why won't it tell me now? Okay. So anyway, so you can move this around. This shows you a model of the three-dimensional shape of amino acid. So again, this is the amino group. This is the carboxyl group. This is the hydrophobic chain because it's only carbon and hydrogen. This is carbon. This is hydrogen. There you go. Should do that. Yeah, okay. Why wasn't I doing it before? So it tells you what oxygen 4, nitrogen. So fool around with this question and we'll keep going. View next question. Okay, here we have another one. The first hydrocarbon group beyond the amino acid functionality. So the first hydrocarbon group should be there. So hydrocarbon means only carbon and hydrogen. And I won't do these. I'll let y'all work on those. Submit answer, see if I got it right or I got it wrong. And it wanted this one. So I can't remember what I put there. So as soon as you submit an answer, it's going to tell you where the correct answer is. So you should click on this carbon right here. Remember, this is a hydrocarbon chain. This is the carboxyl group with oxygen. This is the amino group with nitrogen. So this is the polar part of this molecule, meaning that oxygen and nitrogen tend to attract electrons and they're electronegative. So that's why you should read through this. It talks about things you got to know, hydrophobic and so on, things that you may not have picked up. So make sure you read through this. Okay, let's go back to my assignments. See if it stays in, yeah, okay, it's staying in the right place. Okay, so let's look at, that's chemistry, biomolecules. Let's look at that one. Okay, so this is from a 1308 course I taught before, but it's still pertinent to what we're talking about. So we talked about fatty acids. What is a fatty acid? The double bonded oxygen of the carboxyl group. That would be right there. Because it doesn't show the double bond, but this is OH. This is oxygen, OH. This is the hydrocarbon chain. Why is it called a hydrocarbon chain? Because it has only carbon and hydrogen, and this is hydrophobic, meaning that this molecule is a fatty acid because it has the carboxyl group, which gives it an acid character. And so this is oxygen. Remember, the carboxyl group is carbon with oxygen and OH here. Okay, so that's that assignment. People are going to be confused. If you want to look at it and move it around, that's good. So where do we click? Let's see if I got it right. So submit answer. Okay. So I got it right. Okay. So let's look at, okay, right here. Well, let's go back to my assignments here. We're staying in the right class. Yep, we're staying in the right class. Let's look at the cell membrane. Okay, cell membrane there. Okay, let's review this structure here. So, entire lipid bilayer between leftmost membrane protein and second membrane protein from the left. Okay, so it says the entire lipid bilayer between leftmost protein right here and second membrane protein from the left. So the lipid bilayer is made of phospholipids, right? This is the polar head. This is cholesterol. These are the hydrophobic tails of the phospholipid. Go back and look at a phospholipid, and it'll have a hydrophilic head, which faces the cytoplasm. This hydrophilic head faces the outside fluid around the cell, which is mostly water. The cytoplasm contains water. These are hydrophobic, so they are arranged away from water. So these are membrane proteins. These are cytoskeletal proteins. This is called a glycolipid. This is called a glycoprotein. These are chains of glucose. When you see a hexagon like that, so the purpose of these glycolipids is a glycolipid because it's attached to the phospholipid. This is attached to a protein. Here's a skeletal protein. The purpose of these glycolipids and glycoproteins is to act to identify the cell. So the pattern and number of glycolipids and glycoproteins, as well as their structure. And there's been a lot of research. There's research lately about how eating a plant and animal dairy, eating only meat and dairy can change these glycolipids and glycoproteins and cause inflammation. So I'm struggling to get to a plant-based diet. My wife isn't into it, but you guys ought to consider eating whole food, whole plants. And that's it. Don't eat meat because it's killing us. That's what the research is showing. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about. Let's go back here and stop recording, and we'll be posting these